And we are back. Good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. 91.9 FM, Voices of the Street. So we are asking the question 100 days in, right? How do we score this government? How do we feel about the performance thus far? I get in some good mornings, etc. We are so far, we have a 75, right? People leaving a little room for improvement as well. How do we feel? Oh, somebody said the positive side of the ticketing is revenue coming in. Oh God, boy, we could do without that positive side. Morning, brother.
Assalamu President Fuad.
Wa alaikum salam, man. Blessings. How you feeling?
Yeah, about the performance about the government in 100 days.
Yeah.
If Fuad means no complaint, no. I will give them a full 100 because they're right in direction right now, but we know we have more things to be done.
Of course.
And Rome didn't build a day.
Yeah, Roman Bellinade and Trinidad and mash up in 100 days. Pressure.
True. Well, we have the government is 10 years plus and it's hardship, but the government moving in the right direction. I see they stop the SRC from high paying electricity, water rate, etc.
Yeah.
But a lot of things happening, you know. But I talk about the man who release that ticket. But that he work, you know. If you get a work for and you taking that work.
I'm not taking that work. It have some things.
Well, I said.
Let me sort.
From.
I sort in garbage on the beatum. I do anything else before I am a ticket. Before I'm a ticket police. But I hear I telling you, I doing anything before I clean in pigsty and all before I go and give out tickets. I can't watch a human being, a citizen, a person, a mother, whoever, somebody, and give them no $1,000 ticket and thing for nonsense. I mean,
what? You know that the government now coming for 100 days. You give them time and think, you know, anything should be wrong, we have to come out and talk to.
Of course. We are at a level of fairness in us. Yeah, man. Thank you very much, brother. Yeah. So Sarah, no, regardless of the revenue coming in, the Prime Minister, you know, leading her government has shown that she's willing to compromise in terms of revenue coming in from certain avenues as well, so that the population is not as pushed down and suffers the way it suffered in the past, right? So, for example, continuously all that the opposition is speaking about in terms of these rate increase conversations and what they plan to do in terms of increasing the electricity rates for all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. What they have been speaking about is that we need the revenue and where the money is going to come from to balance our budget and to keep TNTech afloat, etc. Right? That's what they have been saying within their conversations now, especially. Obviously, they would have planned that prior to election. Let's not push forward with that aspect of our plan, because obviously the population would not have liked it and they would have acted on it during the election period as well. So they held it back then. But obviously, from the way they're speaking about it now, it was their intention, and the Prime Minister has not acceded to that. She prefers to do without the revenue. Morning, Mr. West. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Abubakar.
100 days. How you feel?
Hello?
Yeah, you're there, loud and clear.
All right. I don't know. I mean, it's 100 days, and given the task at hand, the task is no easy task. And as the first caller said, I would need to give them some more time. But I think they have gotten off to a good start, really. But I need to see, much more. And I think in time that should come if they follow certain, edicts, because I expect that the performance of this government is going to be much superior to those of the past. And the performance that I expect, and I think that they can surpass that, because what I had in the last 10 years, I think was the poorest of the poor. And I expect that the judgment that was given by the court with respect to this sports company, that would serve as a lesson, not just to members of boards, but to ministers. And the question of ministerial responsibility, you spoke earlier on about ministers and being responsible for the department and what's that. And I recognize that the Prime Minister in her last governance, she was very firm with respect to that convention of ministerial responsibility, because ministers have to take responsibility for their department. And they have to take personal responsibility too for the failures, for their own failures and the failures of the department. And so don't tell me about some clerk or some supervisor and all that. It is their responsibility to ensure that the department works properly. That is why that's why they call them ministers, Not ministers say, well, look, me and people running around and talking about it. You can't get a clerk to do this, and you can't get a sweeper or a cleaner. It comes down, and some people know to do it well. Jack Warner did it well. Rambachan did it well. You have a lot of people in the past who did it well. They knew how, because they understood what we call the Westminster system. They understand that is the government we under. And I don't too sure that some ministers understand the system of government that they operate under. But the thing is to get things doing, get the department working efficiently and effectively. You need the hospital, and as you're telling me, you can't have people who are CEO in hospitals. They're in carnival, they're in all kind of things. Is that you want to be a CEO of the hospital, or you want to be in carnival? And people are vexed with me for that, but I don't care. We don't do that is not best practice. We don't see it in Barbados. Barbados brought up a CEO from quite, I think it's Scotland or Ireland, and he's focused. He's always at that hospital there, monitoring and seeing everything. In England, they would never recruit a person as a CEO who is a big time swimmer or off and on out of the country and all that. People must be dedicated to their job. They must be committed to what they're doing. And that is one of the failures there. And nobody's accountable to anybody. The ministers are accountable to Parliament. Is responsible there. And therefore also the CEO and the board, because they go to the select committee. But does the select committee, joint select committee, do they have teeth? And we have to insist on those things, because this country, as I say, I don't want to be too long, can't go further down the ladder. We have to improve. We can't go below. The only thing that we could do now to save this country is to improve on the performance of those people in charge of these different ministries and departments and agencies. They must be made, and the people have a responsibility to keep check on them, keep speaking out. That is what the press is for. They are check. They are guardrails. You are guardrails, and you have it in the media, the talk shows and whatnot. You speak out when you see things are not going right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. West. So we are getting a feeling that people are pleased with the performance thus far. Obviously, it is early days as well. But again, this level of responsibility is is one that comes with constant scrutiny, and that is why there are these markers that exist, and that's why the population as a whole, and of course our media, and of course those who are in those positions of responsibility themselves are holding themselves and putting themselves forward to explain their first 100 and their first year, etc. Because it matters so much to our society how our people who are in these levels of responsibility act. Good morning, brother. Welcome.
Hey, morning to you, brother, and morning to your listeners. You know, based on all that exists, a lot more needs to be done, right? But it appears that the government seems to be heading in the right direction as it relates to many matters, especially where they look at making the cuts from. It's not a place where you're benefiting the best from what the state has to offer, but yet still you're on the platform asking persons to tighten their belt and giving people advice on how to cut back. You know, there has been a lot of consultation still going on after the election, so I've given them a thumbs up for that. But we, as a nation, as a people, have a responsibility also to get our act in order so that we could properly call on the government for what we require of them. Because it's one thing to criticize the police officer for giving out 1,400 tickets, but we have to organize ourselves in such a way that we don't fall victim to the shortcomings of the state per se. I mean, it have a lot of things that we would want them to change and to adjust. For instance, some of the wrecking that is take place, you know, and the manner in which it is done. But for the time being, as I say, based on all that exists, I will give the government a thumbs up at this time. But we have a responsibility of shaping up and organizing ourselves properly to be able to properly call on the government and give us what we require as a nation.
Give me a percentage. Give me a percentage. You give me a thumbs up. Give me a percentage.
I'll give them a 77.
All right, cool. You scoring out of Barbados, 77. You're carefully scoring there, boy. Thank you very much, brother. Blessings.
Yeah.
Morning, brother.
Yeah. I just want to say something. I just want the government to know that we solidly behind them. We're behind them at 1,000%. Just do the right thing and you're okay. And answer to the question mark. You see all the red flag that we have in, pay attention to those things. It's very important. But we're behind you 100% and take the criticism, if any, that you may get as constructive criticism because we want better. We don't want to go along that same road that the last thing government went down. And do not take us for granted. Do not take us for granted. As a matter of fact, we ain't saying nothing right now, but besides moving away the point system, the government also said that it was going to reduce the price of the tickets. And we ain't hearing nothing about that up to now, but we're not making a fuss. We're taking notes. So please don't take us for granted because we're not like before. We don't think party like before. Right? Okay, have a blessed morning.
Yeah, man. I love to hear the voices of people who have that clarity of thought. It gives me inspiration and hope for my society. And he's not a young person, so to speak, alone. So even there's so many people, even in the older generations as well, who have that clarity of thought, who are conscious enough to understand what is necessary and to have that fairness. So we remind our our governance, our people who are in positions of responsibility, of what we want and what we expect. And we ask them to just listen, to be sensitive enough to hear what we are saying and adjust to suit. You do not govern based on your whims and your fancies. You govern in a way where you are sensitive to the cries, to the speech of the people, and also in a manner that is best for your citizens. And as I was saying before, yeah, I agree with our listener as well, Sarah. I think, yes, it go on the positive side, you'll have some revenue coming in, but the cost that is going to be incurred to try to get some of that revenue with these tickets that are so expensive that people cannot literally afford, and then have to try to escape. Then you have to get your police service to chase these individuals down. Then you have the judiciary going through a glut. I think I had one ticket that I challenged. I'm not even sure if it's still existent. And the date that I got, because there's this online system, is 2 years away from the date of the actual incident and issue, right? That's look at that judicial glut that is taking place. Look at the time. So just imagine in front of these courts, the amount of individuals, the time, the cost that it takes to adjudicate on something. People not being able to pay within the short frame of time, even when they admit responsibility, and then therefore falling into a position where they are criminally liable. It does not equate. And I'm just saying that is an example as well. But our government must be sensitive to the people. And they are sensitive in this respect, that they understand the hardship that the average man is going through. How could you possibly think, as the opposition was thinking, and as the opposition is trying to put forward to the government now, that they have to increase electricity rates on us? Imagine us having to face that on top of all that we are facing now. And yes, it is extremely challenging to balance Trinidad's books at the moment. It is extremely difficult. Economically, it is extremely difficult. But our government is responsive and caring and understanding enough to know that that is not even an option. It's not even an option at this point in time. And it is for reasons like that the sober-minded citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would be forced into a position to say, hey, I rate that. I rate that. I could respect that. I give that some kudos, so to speak. Good morning, Prezi. How are you doing?
Yeah, man. Good morning. Imam Fuad Abubakar. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, God. Omni-existent, oh God, truth. And, well, I'm going all right. I mean, I doing all right. My pension is yet. I hope it's supposed to.
At some point.
Yeah, well, that some point quite in September that I go here, then I go here about budget. Because that's the time I gain some kind of 75 or 60 or whoever. Because right now, I gain 40, you know, me don't hear what it mean, you know, because, you know, it's only 100, isn't it? We have 5 years. Then I could give at least, for 3 years, I could give 100 and see how you go, or 99. But for now, all right, then do. I can't cross no 40. CPEP workers day, URP workers day. Well, yeah, you know, I just give you a nice little fix up after the election so that you make sure that no somebody ain't there pay no $1 million. You do some work, you do some work. I can't cross 50 and please properly with the management of the country yet to say I costed nothing. But okay, you're showing up a little something in a quarter day. I will hold on to 40. I ain't going above that. You talk about responsibility and accountability. I shifting from there because we as a people have to be much more accountable and responsible to the duties that we give people to acknowledge that we have to take serious cognizance of what they do and it's not doing fragmented. I keep on saying it all the time. Autumn do have 2, autumn do have 3. And it had to have that autumn to deal with the matters inside of the parliament so that we out here could satisfy that we have a people doing that. I don't depend on the 2 political organizations who I know that they as organizations as greed versus contentment. We have to content a lot with the poor people. And the people who have education, big education, to have the privilege to manage and manage in a contented way that we understand, they're greedy. I say most of them in the world, not only Trinidad, greedy. So when they go up on top of their education, foul them. So we, who is the poor people, that depend on them to make a nice system for us. So we have to finally set up in a place that we will order our survival. I will pause this 40% for them until already. We have a budget to read. We go get them a little deal there again. They might make us 60 or something at that point in time. But 40 right now.
You dread, Prezi. You're taking that, but you dread.
All right. I dread, yes. I looking for we to change the status quo. Let me see the real deal. You speak about the real deal. We want to see the real deal as politicians, because we know politicians is fake, most of them.
You looking for me in governance with that level of expectation. So
I ain't hearing you talking me 12 at all. You're talking all kind of and you invite me to your organization yet. Let me see where
you there before you even there. If your heart there, it's just a matter of time for your body, you know. So don't worry.
All right, okay, boss.
All right, bless you.
Have a nice day, Imam. Have a nice day.
You too, brother. You too.
Thank you.
You too. Yeah. You know, always happy to have Prezi with us. You know, he's always willing to contribute as well. Listen, expectations are a hell of a thing. And if you don't have realistic expectations, then you would find yourself disappointed at times as well. So we have to understand the system and those involved. Right? Good morning again, Mr. West. Welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, it's something that I don't understand the question of chain of command in any organization. Some people call it by different names. They have different nomenclature for that. But what I'm saying here is this, is that if you're working in the Ministry of Health in the hospital, you have the ordinary workers, these people, the cleaners and whatnot, and you have a supervisor. And the supervisor has to ensure that these people come to work on time and they do the task. If they don't do the task, then you have something to do. And if the supervisor comes in 10 o'clock when he should be there 7 o'clock, and the workers can't be found, then the person who is senior to him has something to do. And it goes up, 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 and up, up the world. That is how you get people to perform. It has always been so. In the plantation system, you have those who oversee. I used to go down San Fernando in Clarksonville Forest Park. I remember the old plantation system where they used to talk about a man working as a driver, a man as a that existed in the 60s in Caroni and Forest Park and all these things. Those names, the naming of those positions, they existed up until probably in the 70s, right? So the fact when you have accountability about, and if you don't have that, and it goes up to the minister, because when you as the individual, we as the individual complain, the minister would call on who, the permanent secretary. What is happening there? Because the permanent secretary is responsible for the routine management of the day-to-day management of the department. So that is how you get accountability, and he has to shake up. So it's not like people doing when people doing what they want. It's because, again, it comes back to the minister, because he is in charge of that ministry. And if the permanent secretary is not functioning, he's not cooperating with him, he's not, then under the constitution, the prime minister has the responsibility to transfer the permanent secretary. Because as I said the last time, the permanent secretary, who is the accounting officer, is responsible for the day-to-day operation of the department. And this is how that's the Westminster model. And he is responsible for administration, and he's the administrative head, and the political head is the minister. So people have to understand that. So don't break and fight, and it shows that most of us are not accurate, or we're not understanding the system under which we operate and how we could get productivity and get efficiency and effectiveness within the various departments. It's because of some supervisor has to be fired. But again, it comes back to the question of promotion. It comes back to the system of recruitment. How you recruit those people? Is it by patronage? How you get promoted? Because you know somebody, you have a good friendship with somebody who at the top. So these things happen, and this is what, when you talk about this recruitment, what they call it? Privatization, in the context where you have people on contract and you're bringing in this one and you hire and recruiting who they want, and therefore you're not recruiting the best. You have to get an independent, like the Service Commission, which if it is run properly, to determine people based on merit. And people have to understand, these are the things that the people have to understand.
Mr. West, I'm not lying to you. Something is desperately wrong with the culture as well towards work, because you can't tell me that a supervisor responsible for that area in the hospital could be aware that is the condition of the place, and that's okay.
But you say it is aware. It has to do with, as you said, the attitude towards work, the culture within the institution itself. You have people who supervise. Man, you have to be working in those government departments
to know how bad it is.
To know how people function. Some people just don't care. You have people who in supervisory position, they see them. Them come in 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and the workers know when they come in, so they come in 8 o'clock, 8:30, just in time for them to. Some of them leaving, they're going for lunch, they don't come back. After 12 o'clock, they go on their way. That is the kind of public service that you have, and you have to reform that. You have to transform that. Yeah. And it could be done, it could be done incrementally. If the permanent secretary, again, within the department, it says, put a foot down, then you could have, or he or she, you could make a start. Because you have circular, you have directives you could use. You could walk the floor, you could visit the various departments and whatnot. You have deputy permanent secretary. They and all could be on. Let me come out the radio. Thank you, Mr. Abubakar.
Yeah, thank you very much. When you're on, you say what I'm gonna say, so you make it a little bit easier for me, Mr. West. Desperately, something needs to be done in terms of our culture. It cannot be that a few people carry the burden of work and responsibility in Trinidad and Tobago, right? It cannot be that our culture is that lackadaisical towards performance in certain aspects. We have to do better in certain ways. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mom.
Good morning. How are you going, son?
I am good. I'm good, blessed. And how are you?
Well, you know, when you're old, you're halfway.
All right. Blessings.
Yeah. The two worst things to handle in this country right now, what I see the government tackling, what I say the two worst things that really need handling first, I see they're doing it, is health and crime. Those are the two things that will keep our country bad. And I see they're trying to handle it. You know, they're trying. They're now gone in office. What is 100 days? 100 days to 20 years and 30 years. Oh, yeah. They're trying. You know? Now, I wishing that Spaniard ground law come very fast for one reason. Who against that Spaniard ground laws is because they have friends, family, and interest in the criminals. For people leave, people making roti, getting up 3 o'clock morning in the district of St. Helena. People making doubles, getting up 2 o'clock morning to reach by the old airport or the airport. That's not little work. Make pepper to get up and grind a dal to make that way. This week they've gone in St. Helena and pull up the people roti shop.
Yeah, I think I saw that, yeah.
I take everything the people had. I can't remember where the daughter's man was. They gone and they take his own doors and not a little bit of work. These fellas don't want to work. It have work. It have male nurse that they need male in the hospital and female to take care of the elderly. Take care. To care of elderly. That is a blessing. And you're getting good pay. They don't want to work. The gardeners need people to work. They don't want to work.
Yeah.
You understand? That is not a nice thing. So I say all the way against the Spaniard ground laws. They're doing something with these people. You're seeing 4 people and you 2 women in a roti shop come and point gun by your head. Every day that is in this country. And every day the hospital have nearly 1,000 people need health care. So I see they're trying to address these two situations. I mean, I give them a little chance to. They're working.
Yeah.
They're working.
What do you rate the government? What score you would give them out of 100?
Excellent.
All right. Nice.
More than a husband. 100. It's only 3 months that they are, you know.
Yeah. Understood. No, but more than 100, they say no. Oh gosh, we see there's humans too. So 99.
Now you're taking your time to find the right people to put in the right place. You don't want them to be corrupted like before. So you're trying your best, you know. And to the people who lost a 6-year child, it is a sad thing. But whenever a child has a cough, a dry cough, or a slight fever, you will say it's right. It don't be slight. Because a virus is a serious thing. So when you start giving them Panadol at home, as we used to do, you cannot do that no more. Because these things are very serious now. Pandit Ram from 5 of us, we have our puja store in Tunapuna. His son, one day and one night, died in the nursing home. And while the doctor was attending to the child, father, mother, and the doctor was there. the child died at 11 years old. Virus is a very serious thing when your lungs get infected. You understand, son?
Yeah. And our condolences go out to the family as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they have to understand, do not blame the doctors.
Yeah.
Because the father said that the doctor says lung infection. What they would do again, they have the child on antibiotic and drips. And then they trying the best with the child. They say the child was well. And the child wasn't sick. If the child was well and the child wasn't sick, how it went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Which you hoping for the child to feel much better. But when the lungs get infected and your child is a little weak, the immune is a little weak, it has no chance, they don't matter how a doctor try. Because my brother, big son there, with that big man, when you get the virus, how it will be?
Yeah, it's be bad even for adults as well. So
you can't.
Yeah.
You just feel like you're dead, you can't fight it.
Yeah. All right, Mom. Thank you very much. I don't want to go into that one too much. It's a challenging situation for the family.
I hope the parents be consoled.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Other children die from that too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that is a very sad situation there, and I know the family is going through the issue, and I hope that they are consoled sufficiently. I can't imagine, but it's a tremendous challenge, and I hope that they can get the answers, etc., that they are trying to get as well. Our care for children especially needs to be to the highest standard possible. All right. Good morning, caller. Welcome. Yeah, man. Welcome.
I just hardly moderator great experience. I used to call it a program.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you're close to the radio. Give us your score now. Where are the government over this 100 days?
I give them 70%.
70?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Because they have a lot of work to do. You see, when a new government come into power, and all the mess they make for it really will take up 2 years to fix it.
Yeah.
You know that? And the opposition now get their voice. The opposition now get their voice. You understand that?
Yeah, true.
Rowley was from the country. They had no voice. They never say anything. The leader of the opposition never say anything. If the leader of the opposition used to oppose Rowley, and Ravi and them would never be voted by Rowley alone. Because Rowley never gets any opposition. Because Rowley buy them out. You know that? Because if they didn't oppose Rowley, they wouldn't have gone for no seat. You know that? You know that?
Well, all right. Well, you telling us. I listening to you.
I know that.
Yeah.
They know getting voice. Where was your voice all the time? Look like people do their work. Yeah? Thank you, Mr. Abubakar.
All right. Thank you very much as well. So we got 70 there. Go ahead, caller. Morning. Morning. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Baka, morning. Baka, right now I'm confused with the kind of things I'm seeing going on the internet with this. Yeah, hello.
We are in here loud and clear, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. The kind of things I'm seeing Donald Trump sign, Elon Musk have the SpaceX thing. And what they coming out with the Israeli, the president of Israel tackling Terry, they want to tackle Africa because they want the global internet business to be under one fold so that they could use this digital currency. And after me, like Africa is the only independent continent where they could manage themselves and support themselves. You understand? And they're getting horrors with that. And something I see planning, you know, and all these things is in the Bible and Revelation. Something happening where I think we should inform or like the people supposed to know what's going on and because nobody is making no preparation for something going on happen this year with this digital currency and all this kind of bacchanal. I wish people should, while they're on the phone, dig up and see what's going on, who a little what's up now.
Yeah,
all
man.
Right, yeah, thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
And it's much more than that, eh?
For sure. All right.
Much more. You see what they're doing, the young black women? It have a whole set of one big agenda. And I don't know why they're targeting young black African women. They're initiating them.
Yeah.
Because they know they can't get the men and them to come into this kind of thing, right, as easy. So when they confuse the woman and them, right, men going after them, and I believe that them youth men and they pick up some kind of negative energy. And that is why they be warning one another. So, let me tell you this one little important thing with God show me. This is my own ideas. The earth itself, you understand, does pick up that carbon dioxide from the leaf of the tree. The tree does breathe. When the tree breathe, you see the carbon that the tree breathing, it picking up a negative energy and feeding it back to the earth. That's why the earth rebelling so, especially in all them European nations. You know. This is thing God showing me long time. The earth itself is a living thing. But the tree now does depend on humanity, on mankind, right, for this carbon dioxide. And when the trees pick up that, right, it does recycle it, and they're picking up, I just call it shit tank, to tell you the go to that. This is what they say, so in the air. They're picking up that energy, right?
Listen,
they're picking up that energy, and that is why Mother Nature rebelling, so it has nothing to do with no climate change.
Listen.
Time mankind reach into that place like ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, these things that happen, brother, for what?
Listen, we will discuss that more at a different date. We were asking the question this morning in terms of our government that we have at this point in time. What rating you give them on the 100 days so far? What percentage?
Well, to tell you the truth, the rating I could see is that it's escalating crime.
Right.
The escalating crime, right? So, you see, if the man give back the little small and I walk, this CPEP walk and all kind of thing, it go have more crime. That's all I could see.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
All
right. And of course, we have raised that as a concern as well. The government must find a way to bring back, the programs that really offer that employment to the people on the ground, because it is essential for them, because there is limited employment as well otherwise for certain sectors of the society, right? So we have acknowledged that issue, and we have been asking for that to be dealt with as soon as possible. One of our listeners, our viewers, also wanted to outline an important desire from a political perspective. He's refraining from putting forward his opinion on the government given the 100 days until he sees white-collar criminals go to jail, right? Until then, he not even given a rating to this government. And of course, I would think that that applies to any government, because he wants to see that level of justice within the society. And I saw a number of other people agreeing with that individual as well, with that statement. High expectations. I don't know. I don't know. We have a lot of talk around some of the actions of former ministers of government, their involvement in even creating the situation for this CPAP program to be held back from continuing as well, from having these structural issues that it is having at this point in time. And I don't know that even with that, you're going to see a minister or a big fish do any be held accountable by those standards. I don't know. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I just jump in quick.
You gotta jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, after Dr. West, I really recognize something in a serious way, not even after, but since before. But the fact remains is that how do we get public servants to do the work, to get productivity? That is an important part in our country. Because average Trinidadian or Trinidadian, whatever you call it, so productivity is at a low standard, especially when we thinking negative. And if we continue using bureaucracy to keep people in position and can be fired, that is an important part. I mean, we ain't talking slavery thing here, we're talking the reality of work, the necessity to survive. And if you're keeping people who, when they go to work, they know they have a work, whether or not, you can't fire them. So that they can work in all the ministries like a difficult. I'm not talking about every executive or every workman where you put where you can. He could do what he wants and you can't fire him, then you have a problem. In this society, we have a problem if you hire people and the people know they're working for, especially for government. I'm not talking about outside companies, because if no companies will fire you too and have people accept that they have a set of bureaucracy that could cause them. I learned things from the Third Empire that bureaucracy could stop them from able to block them from firing you. That is trouble in our community. We will never get production and we will always get lackadaisical workmanship from people, especially government people in all the government ministries. And that is a serious point. So that until we could see these kind of things, that is the point where you could give 75 and 80, but the government have to see about the matter that is able to encourage development and stability in the country in a real way. We want the real deal. Not stupidness from people and they're saying they can't do this and they can't do that. If they get fired, they will know they want to keep the work, so they will stay on the work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Again, the accountability and changing the culture and the attitude. So we have a suggestion from Miss Romani as well, and she's saying that it's an option why we don't hire the CPAP workers under the Ministry of Works, eliminating the contractors, and the workers' salary would be dealt with, of course, directly. And I've been thinking about certain options even through the unemployment relief program as well, maybe, which is a branch of the Ministry of Works as well, right? Taking these workers on directly and giving them the same responsibilities that they had before and proper remuneration as well to do the environmental work impact that they have been doing. And even setting performance standards for them and setting pay in accordance with it, right? Because they have a responsibility to fulfill. And those are options that I'm sure are being thought about. And if they're not being thought about, then, I will advance them as well. And I hope some of those people who have the responsibility of restructuring have them in mind as well. But you want to get these things back going. You want to get people working again. And you want to have people actually working. There's a video circulating over the weekend for people on the ground. You all might have seen it with an individual cussing, right? Trinbago, but a little extra as well, discussing the URP and the fact that there's the head count. That's the cry of the individual. One second. I see you trying to come back in. You see that video, KFC?
What warrior princess?
Oh, I wasn't calling names, but yeah. Head count. She want no head count.
Well, for what is URP and CPEP, I is a man stay away from that one because that is the political side for the both parties and about wherever it had some deadly snakes was real eaten in the party for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
But it transforming, but people never get back to work, you know.
What do you think about that head counting?
You know,
what's the problem with the head
counting?
The head count. You have to be there.
Mr. Khan, like, he play mal if people in jail, man. What head count?
But what the head count mean? The head count mean you have to be there.
Well, head count mean before they close the gate and make sure everybody inside.
Well, what I could say about that? I can't.
Blessed day. Them super workers will get back to cut their grass and make the street clean before the year done, man. Blessings.
Yeah, blessings. Yeah. You see, I had to get KFC to explain that part to me, right? Because I had to play like I don't understand because head count, you know, if we have people involved in a program, if we have 1,000 mothers who are assisted, or whoever individuals who are being relieved of unemployment, then we find meaningful short-term work to do. Is not as voluminous as some other responsibility, right? As that's the way that it is created as well. But you have to be there and you have to do the little task. If it is to clean a school or if it is whatever is rostered to assist because it's unemployment relief, right? You have to do it as well. You have to do the little work, and then you can get back to if you have something that you also do to try to make up as, you know, probably a self-employed individual. You probably sell something or try to take care of your family or help out someone, whatever else that you do. But I can't be vexed. I can't be vexed if they want that level of accountability, if they want the individuals who are rostered to do whatever responsibility and work to actually be there. And I understand the culture before. And I understand how difficult change could be. This is no easy job, you know. Changing a culture, improving on a culture, is not an easy job. It takes tremendous leadership. It takes understanding of the particular issue at hand. It takes leading by example. It takes constant meetings and interventions and reinforcement. It takes conversation. I hope that the conversations are going to be had at some point. They're probably being held within the different institutions. But that conversation about where we want to go and the way that we are going to achieve it by our efforts is not by no other way. So, you know, we on this 100 days today, and we are pleased with a lot of what has been done. It is just a short period of time, and we look forward to much more being done. Right? So I want to thank all those who made this effort of change and who continue to be vigilant and who continue to be vocal and who continue to also put in their effort into making Trinidad and Tobago better. So, good morning again, and thank you to everybody who tuned in. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, take care.